Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Greg Jones with Engine Builder. We're at the 2025 PRi Show. Today, we're in the Cam Motion booth, joined by Andrew Bostrom. And this right here between us is a 430 cubic inch Hemi, and it's our Engine of the Week.
Engine Builder's Engine of the Week is sponsored by Pengrade 1.
Andrew,
Greg, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for giving us some time. Good to see you here.
Yeah.
Busy PRi show.
Oh, it's been a great show so far. We've had a lot of interest in everything from obviously this to our LT platforms, LS platforms, and we've figured bring out a little piece of pro stock history this weekend. It was 430 cubic inch. Gen II Hemi, it's 16 plug. That's kind of the thing that everybody's been stopping and looking at. It's a remnant of the early 70s pro stock era. But
this thing is very, very cool. So Andrew, let's start there, just like with the why. Why did you guys decide to put this together and try to make some power with it?
Yeah, so what this is we all came up in drag racing. This is a company for the racers, by the racers, always has been. And with that being said, this particular motor was to illustrate what can be done still to highlight that golden era. Sega obviously is very popular right now in the gasser classes. Everybody loves it. And the pro stock is becoming the natural progression. That's where we're getting a lot of calls from guys around the country like, hey, I want to build a pro stock motor because these cars are available. So we figured, let's build one ourselves. And there was no greater pro stock motor than the Gen II Hemi. Yeah. And this is what this is. This is got a set of stage 5 engineering, twin plug heads on it with a early mag drive combination. But what's really cool is instead of a traditional mag drive, we're actually running it with a crank trigger. So we're using a little bit of the end of the 73 era as well when they were still doing this. So like you said, this is 430 cubes. It's basically 2.4 horse per cubic inch.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
That's impressive.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of work in it. Madcap Racing out of Denver built the engine for us. This is one of 3 of these that we run in a 71 Dodge Demon Nostalgia Pro Stalker that myself and one of the other crew members here, we campaign this car. This car will be out probably in 2027. Running in not just Nostalgia Pro Stock, we're also going to throw it in stick shift no prep.
Oh wow.
It's at 2,300 pounds. We figured, you know what? We'll hurt some feelings, see what we can do with it, and have a good time.
Oh, that sounds like a fun time for sure. So, Andrew, walk us through, getting that amount of horsepower per cubic inch is impressive. So, you got to have some pretty, trick stuff inside.
Yep.
I'm sure some of the specs of the engine took some work to figure out. So, can you walk us through some of that?
Yeah, so we're fortunate with the aftermarket really jumped on board on this. This has got everything from Callie's block, started with one of those as our foundation. It's got a Bryant crank in it. Those guys over there knocked it out of the park. And then we got together with our friends over at Aries Pistons and CP Carrillo, and those guys took this on as a passion project. He went ahead and he put every trick he could. It's got all those hours that you want to see somebody put into a motor, put into a combination, and really see what we can do. We went ahead and had those guys work with us. They pushed us over to Total Seal. Total Seal stepped up and they put modern pro stock ring packages in this thing. It's essentially a shootout motor dressed in old clothes. So that's what we went ahead and did. At the heart of this build, what we ended up doing was we went with one of our 60 millimeter top fuel cams. So these are the same cams we use in everybody from like Antron Brown to any of the funny car and top fuel teams you see out there that we're building cams for. This is the same core.
Nice.
So we've got that. This is a one-off, started its life as a spool like you see a little bit behind us here. And we went ahead and built a really good package with what we did. Our owner, Kip, he took this on. He's like, let's go ahead and see what we can do. Our boys over at Jessel, we've worked with those guys for years. They're one of our dealers, and we deal with selling their components too. They stepped up, keyway narrow wheel lifters on it. Went ahead to the guys at Manton stepped up with their top fuel valve train. Everybody's good components have been in this, and then we're real fortunate. One of our friends that we've had for years, Darren Morgan. As you guys know from Ryer Morrison and now BES.
Absolutely.
He heard about this and he's like, hey, let's go ahead and do the top end and the valve train in it. So he built out the heads. He went ahead and ported this thing to the max. Hawaiian magnesium tunnel ram that they made primarily for the Pro Stock guys in the day that then went ahead and was ported to the Max. This is basically a sheet metal tunnel ram in a cast form now at this point.
Wow.
The guy who restored one of the Gap and Roush cars, supposedly these are his old centers for his IRs that we used on that. Darn Carlton's crank trigger was what I was told is on this, and then the mags, one came from Blue Max, one came from Bruce Larson USA 1. So we're trying to keep the history alive as well, which is really cool.
Well, I think, you know, goal achieved. It looks old school, but as you've been talking, it's got that pretty much everything modern you can put into it to help it make the horsepower you were talking about.
Yeah.
So it's definitely impressive. Now, Andrew, are you able to give us some specs on like bore and stroke, some of the stuff you did with the cam? You know, are you able to share any of that?
Yeah, so bore and stroke, basically it's a standard bore with a downsized bearing. I will go as far as saying that, but then it's had a lot of work to get this thing to 15:1, so close chambers up, went it on those lines. It does take quite a bit to get a Hemi to that compression.
Yeah.
And one of the things we wanted to do that for was to illustrate the mags, because these, you don't have to run as much advance, so we can keep throwing as much timing at it. Normally, so with 15:1, we can get some timing. Normally guys will run these in the 20s. Instead, we're gonna run this right around there and make sure we can get the compression, because this runs at 6,000 foot altitude primarily.
Okay, right, yeah.
And then as far as the cam goes, I can tell you this, it's, as everybody says, the cam is the heart. I'm not gonna give you the whole spec, but it is on par with modern Pro Stock motors. So some of the guys and the technology we use for our modern pros are in this. And you know, no prep, probably run some no times, just see what it is, and we wanted diversity. That was our big thing. We wanted to show that this can kind of Swiss Army knife, for lack of a better term.
Very cool. Well, Andrew, let me know if we're leaving anything out. It sounds like we went through a majority of what's here inside the Gen II Hemi.
Yeah.
And then I believe earlier in our conversation you mentioned you're getting this in the car, 27?
Yes, so this car is a 71 Demon. We've had this car kicking around for quite a few years, and it's a stick shift, obviously, true 4-speed car, not anything other than that. Car weighs, I will say, 2,300 pounds, old Pro Stock weight. Took a lot of work to get down to that, and you'll see the car at SEMA. Primarily, it is getting painted by Tukey and Bucky Hess, those legendary super stock guys. They jumped on board on this build, and they were like, "Hey, let's do it." So it'll be a cool piece when done that should ruffle some feathers. That's our hope.
Yeah. Well, Andrew, it's awesome to see the Hemi here in person, and we're looking forward to seeing the completed build here in the coming months and year. Yeah, you'll start seeing it around. Look for the dyno numbers coming out soon. We will publish that in the spring. We will be dynoing in that time of the year. Very cool. Awesome. Yes, sir. Well, Andrew, thanks so much for the time. No problem. Guys, that's been this episode of Engine of the Week. Make sure you're checking out everything that Andrew and his team have going on here at Cam Motion. And as always, make sure you're checking out enginebuildermag.com for more awesome engine content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. Hey, while I've got you guys here, I wanted to tell you about Find a Builder. It's a new microsite on enginebuildermag.com that's great for both engine shops and for potential customers looking to get engine work done. If you're an engine builder, this site is a place where you guys can list your shop and what you guys do to potential customers through enginebuildermag.com. It's an easy subscription-based microsite that'll let you guys connect to a new audience. And if you're a potential customer looking to get engine work done, this is a source to help you guys find a shop that's in your area or one that specializes in the type of engine work that you're trying to get done. Make sure you guys are checking out Find a Builder on enginebuildermag.com. Thanks.